If it looks like a Concorde, sounds like a Concorde, then guess what, folks? It might just be a Concorde.
The team that built Apex Legends and Titanfall.
I am the hype!
I've played it, and after you see this trailer, I think you're gonna want to as well. I think you're gonna want to as well.
I think you're gonna want to as well. I think you're gonna want to as well.
But am I done?
I honestly feel like the rise and fall of Highguard will be studied along the lines of Concorde. But with the controversy surrounding Highguard, be it the baffling gameplay design decisions like the 3v3 or 5v5 matchmaking in huge maps that create spans of gameplay where you aren't really interacting with other opposition players, and yet you're supposed to be in a high-paced hero shooter, or even the nearly non-existent marketing, or even the severe drop in player base retention that's a nightmare situation for any live service game. All those elements don't really expose the root cause issues with what led to Highguard being in the most unfavorable situation they're facing. And that core problem transcends even Highguard itself into all of gaming. Those core issues being trend chasing, extended game development, and sunk costs. You watching Mr. Let Me Talk, so let's talk about it. Now, this video is not meant to be negative for the sake of just being negative. I actually like to make more positive or fun videos, but more importantly, videos that cut through the fluff and discord that usually surrounds gaming media. So with that being said, let's talk a bit of history, shall we? Highguard began development in 2022, and this was during the peak in gaming companies pushing towards live service games. I mean, even at that stage, we had the likes of Apex Legends, Valorant, Overwatch, just to name a few, and more live service games launched during Highguard's development cycle. So clearly the developers of Highguard weren't just trying to enter a highly saturated market, but also chase trends of similar games which launched years ago. And a roughly 4-year development cycle doesn't seem so bad, especially compared to how long games take to come out these days, but live service games are a whole different animal and get affected by extended development cycles way differently. Unlike single-player titles, live service games need to constantly adapt and grow so they can maintain a player base substantial enough to avoid going the route of like Suicide Squad or even Concorde. So if a gaming company is just out here chasing popular gaming trends, which are probably at their peak relevance at that time, and compound that with generally longer development cycles, you end up with a game that either has outdated mechanics or baffling design elements that, by the time your game actually comes out, doesn't really grab the attention of the current audience because it's no longer fresh or innovative, and rather just becomes another drop in the sea of live service game. Another part of the equation that I don't hear a lot of people talk about is the sunk cost aspect. And I'm not just referring to the hyperinflated budgets in video game development, but rather the time and money players sink into live service games. Single-player titles mostly have 3 main peaks, and therefore 3 avenues to recover their costs. The first is from once-off purchases of the game, second would be from DLC sales, then thirdly from major updates like remasters. However, free-to-play live service games don't have the buffer of the initial once-off purchase to recoup development costs, and therefore have a heavier reliance on microtransactions. And they tend to have a higher maintenance or running cost, so they need to keep churning out content to keep the audience engaged and constantly funding the game. If this is successful, you get a game like GTA Online, which makes stupid money. So stupid that Rockstar didn't feel the need to rush to incur more costs by developing a new GTA game, but rather milk the one they had for that online shmoolah.
Yay! Yay!
But back to the point. So as a player, you've spent hundreds or even thousands of hours into your favorite live service game, and during that time, you poured a lot of money into microtransactions. So you've leveled up your character, you've built a library of skins and weapons and emotes, so now you have to start that process all over again. And let's be honest, unless the game is a surprise hit, it's unlikely people will migrate to that new live service game. They might check it out and see how it compares, and the game doesn't have to be that bad, and I personally think Highguard is not as bad as other live service games, but if it's not different enough, then it won't be worth players ditching the time and cost that they've sunk into their favorite live service title just to play an okay or mid game. And that's maybe Highguard's biggest problem. It's not a bad game, but it's also not a good game either. And yes, it got a great game level of hype at the Game Awards, which did zero favors for it, by the way. Highguard is just in that forgettable middle section that live service games go to slowly whittle away and die. And yes, possibly it could make a comeback, which I hope it actually does, but I guess only time will tell. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more like it. Till next time, peace.